When we think of love and sacrifice, one word inevitably comes to mind: mother. But what if that very bond was shattered in the most unimaginable way? Today we're delving into a story that darkens this sacred connection. A word of caution: this video might stir your emotions, and it could make you question the trust you have in your own family and loved ones. If you believe you can stomach such a disturbing tale, then stay with me. The unsettling events took place in the quiet village of Chadi, nestled in Jalgaon, Maharashtra. On February 4th, 2019, a villager out for a walk near the forest noticed something strange: a leg protruding from the bushes. At first he assumed it was a child who had passed out, or perhaps some other misfortune. Driven by curiosity, he went closer, but what he found would haunt him forever. It was the severed leg of a young boy, likely no older than 12 or 13. In shock, he immediately alerted the police, who swiftly arrived to begin their investigation. What was happening here? The mystery deepened when the authorities learned that the village housed a poor family of 4, one of whom had been reported missing after a police complaint had been filed weeks earlier. And now, this gruesome discovery, it only raised more questions. The police thought the leg might belong to Mangesh, but before we jump to conclusions, let's first understand what happened to Mangesh 2 days prior when he disappeared. On February 2nd, Mangesh was returning home from school. He usually arrives later, but that day, school let out earlier than usual. The villagers, who often go to the forest to refresh themselves, were out, and after changing his clothes, Mangesh told his mother he was heading to the forest to freshen up. His mother waited for him, but when he didn't return by evening, she started to worry. She informed everyone that Mangesh was missing, and the villagers came together to search for him. However, unfortunately, Mangesh couldn't be found, and the situation became more concerning. The next morning, they filed a missing persons report. As soon as the police received the report, they began their investigation. By evening, they had no leads, but the very next morning, they received an update. This was when they found the leg, as I mentioned earlier. The police immediately sprang into action, thinking it might belong to Mangesh, so they expanded their search. As they continued, they began finding more parts of the body, but the head was still missing. This time it was the eerie night of Amavasya, the kind that only comes once every 27 years. A night when, according to legend, practitioners of dark magic are at their most active. The discovery of Mangesh's dismembered body sent shockwaves through the village, with every sign pointing toward the sinister influence of black magic. Fear swept through the community like wildfire. Parents locked their children inside, even forbidding them to go to school, terrified that whoever was responsible might strike again. As panic spread, the authorities knew they had to act fast. A team of 50 police officers was dispatched to crack the case. Mangesh's family held on to a slim hope. Maybe he had been kidnapped, or perhaps he had run away. But that hope was shattered when the police discovered his body parts and clothes scattered across the area. The moment his family recognized the clothes, they knew it was him. The shock and heartbreak hit his mother hardest, her cries echoing through the village as she faced the unbearable truth. With Mangesh's death now confirmed, the investigation took a darker turn. The entire village rallied, and the 50 officers worked day and night, combing through every inch of the area, determined to unearth the truth and bring his killer to justice. The mystery was no longer just a crime. It was a battle against the unknown forces that seemed to be lurking just out of sight. The police launched a search operation, bringing in their dogs and letting them sniff Mangesh's clothes. The dogs ran straight to Mangesh's house and stopped. The police thought that perhaps Mangesh's scent had led them here, so they repeated the process. But again, the dogs ran to Mangesh's house and stopped. This continued, and after repeated attempts with no results, the police grew very frustrated. No one could understand how to reach the killer. The police then decided to check CCTV footage, but the village was small and finding nearby CCTV cameras was difficult. They searched for any CCTV in the area, hoping it might give them a lead. Fortunately, they found a camera at a jewelry shop just outside the village. They pulled up footage from February 2nd, thinking it might help them find something, and they did. The footage revealed a beggar who was wandering around the area, asking for money and food. He had a heavy bag, which seemed unusual. The police speculated that this bag might contain parts of Mangesh's body. They immediately started looking for the beggar, but he was nowhere to be found. So, the police created a sketch of him and put up posters around the village, offering a cash reward for anyone who could help identify or locate him. But unfortunately, they still couldn't find him. At this point, the police were facing a major issue: how to reach the killer, as there were no leads. It didn't seem like a kidnapping, nor did Mangesh's family appear to be wealthy or involved in any complex issues. The case still pointed towards black magic, as the entire village and police believed that his death was somehow connected to it. But the reality was something that would shock everyone. The police had found no clues, so they held a meeting to discuss where they might be going wrong or what they might be overlooking. During the discussion, it became clear that the dogs repeatedly stopped at Mangesh's house, so they decided to search his house again. They did so, but once again they found nothing. The police then started questioning Mangesh's neighbors. It was during this interrogation that they learned about a boy who frequently visited Mangesh's house. They decided to bring this boy, named Samadan, in for questioning. When they questioned him, they learned something surprising. Samadan was actually Mangesh's maternal cousin. It seemed innocent enough, but the police noticed something odd. Samadan only visited when either Mangesh or his father wasn't home. This detail raised suspicions. At his house, the police were extremely bothered by this matter. The officers repeatedly took Samadan to the station for questioning. This time they were more strict, telling him, "We know everything about you. It's better you tell us everything yourself, or we have other ways to get the truth out of you." Samadan was terrified. He thought the police knew everything, and after this moment, a shocking truth was about to come to light. When Samadan opened his mouth, all the officers were in shock. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. Samadan revealed that he had formed a friendship with his aunt at her house, and soon after they became intimate. Neither of them realized when their relationship crossed a line. He also revealed that Mangesh Patil had demanded intimacy with his aunt as well, and after some discussion, his aunt agreed. What followed was a series of intimate encounters that went on for a while. One day, Mangesh returned home early from school and went to freshen up after informing his mother. Meanwhile, Mangesh Patil visited Geetabai just like he had before. However, Geetabai had forgotten that Mangesh had come home, and they started getting intimate. When Mangesh returned, he caught them in the act, and in a fit of rage, Mangesh Patil struck him, killing him instantly. Now, the real problem was how to dispose of the body, as Mangesh was dead. This situation was something they had never anticipated, and they were in shock. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this incident had shattered family relationships beyond repair. Until now, things hadn't happened intentionally, but what comes next will be intentional and much more horrifying. The way they disposed of the body was extremely gruesome. As I mentioned earlier in the video, this was during the dark Amavasya, and because of this, they decided to sever the body parts, remove the head, and scatter everything separately to make people believe that this was caused by black magic, that Mangesh's death was a result of it. But the police proved to be very brave and solved this case with great determination and ease. Friends, there are many incidents where people find themselves in situations where they don't even hesitate before harming their loved ones. In this case, the purest bond of all, the mother and son, was shattered, and we can hardly imagine such a thing happening. I want to make it clear that sharing such videos is not intended to hurt anyone. My only goal is to make all of you aware. If you found this video meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. Until then, take care and goodbye.